Hey guys, you might remember recently we did a little Propella giveaway thing. I'd customized the bike. Picked this guy Ryan, he's right over there. And then his buddy brought him down in their car, and you're gonna drop him off in Boulder maybe and get a little adventure ride home. We haven't even seen the bike yet, so you guys wanna come on back and
definitely
check it out? Yeah, thanks again for coming all the way here. I noticed you've got like that limp going on, and that was from being run over.
Yeah, I have a bunch of metal, 2 metal bands in my hip and about 12 screws.
Well, you've got like the smile and the positive attitude.
Oh yeah,
so.
I mean, how can you not be positive about getting an amazing bike for free?
Man, I'm stoked for you. The bike's totally tricked out, and you're familiar with this kind of thing because you already have like a sort of a fixie that you converted to a single speed so you can pedal backwards.
Exactly. So I can actually not put the stress of having to stop on my hip.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to backpedal or even slow down with a fixed gear if you have any sort of a hip or leg injury.
I can imagine. Did you used to like power slide? Where you
I was never very good at that. I just would pedal really hard backwards and just like really slow my cadence down.
For sure. Well, dude, this one has disc brakes, so that
that's definitely
should work out. And we left the carbon wheel on here because you were saying like, yeah, I'm gonna drive it back, and that's lightweight. It'll be cool.
Heck yeah, that's super lightweight.
Yeah, and then the keys are in here, so there's like a key to get the battery pack off, and then a key for the little folding lock. They're in that little bag. And I updated the rack for everyone who might have seen like the time lapse on the review. Originally, I got these extra brackets that fit on the axle, so the rack was like resting on the axle and it spaced everything out, and I thought it would just act as a washer, but when I tightened it, because this metal's softer, it was like actually pushing the axle down. So I added a torque arm because I was concerned about I want this to work well for you, and then I moved the rack up into these bosses. So it's really nice that Propella has those extra bosses to really, this is a sturdy rack. Like it's doing a good job. The whole bottle cage bosses and everything. Do you have any questions or any feedback about this
No,
thing?
actually, I was going to ask you about that bottom portion of the rack and how easy it would be to, if I were to get a flat, how easy it would be to go ahead and dismount that with it connecting to the axle. But since you've just updated it, there's like problem solved right there.
I spent it was a couple hours, going through it yesterday. I was really wanting to get this thing dialed in because you're talking about a long ride, like 50 miles or something, and it's no fun to end up with it does have
extra bag as well. So
good. You were talking about like some tools and stuff.
Everything I need.
Got the panniers, got the helmet. We were talking about the helmet earlier. Like you have one, but you actually got stung on the forehead.
Oh yeah, it has the holes in the top of it, and I was riding down the road, and all of a sudden I felt something fly into my helmet, and I just thought it was a bee, of course. So I'm trying to take it off, but before I could get it off, I got stung right here.
Bummer.
Luckily, I'm not allergic, so just like a little tiny swelling.
Well, for those who are kind of like, what are you talking about? It's like this helmet has mesh on it, and more helmets are doing that, where there's a little like blocker on the front, and it has the light and stuff, because this bike doesn't really have lights integrated.
Lights as well.
Oh, you did, dude.
Everything I need.
Totally prepared. I am stoked for you.
For over a decade. So.
Do you want to just like get on this thing, or
we
can?
I think we have about the same step. So.
Yeah, it's pretty high right now because I do have like a long.
Okay, let's see here. You said to power it on.
Yep.
Just press and hold.
Yeah, I think it's this one. I think you just go up here to the M. There you go.
There it goes.
So it's on 1 right now. The tires are in pretty good shape. We're probably going to want to like pump them up a little bit, so don't go over anything too sharp.
Sure. It's not bad.
I was going to do that, but you guys got here on time and everything was working out. Sweet shirt, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. There you go. Easing into it. Pretty excited for this guy. Super friendly, pretty positive, pretty humble in his entry into the contest, and it's just nice to get a bike to someone who can use it. He says he commutes daily, rides daily, and he had that injury, which is like, I don't want too many pity points or anything, but he just
really feel it when that battery kicks in.
You can feel it. Yeah. Is this your first like e-bike experience?
No, I've been on a few.
He says he's done a few bikes, but yeah, this one is pretty zippy, pretty noticeable.
That flies.
It's working pretty well.
Yeah. No, definitely not my first e-bike experience. I've been on a Saunders Original.
Oh yeah.
I've also been on a Reese and Mueller from Best Electric Bikes.
Oh, those guys. Yeah, that's a great store right there in Denver.
Yeah, I went in there and they're like, would you like to go ahead and hop on one, see how it does? I was like, yes, definitely.
Awesome.
So,
And you know Jason from like Electric Bike Outfitters
yes,
or something?
I stopped in there and I talked to him, met him, and he showed me a few of his different setups, and I thought it was like really cool. I was looking into putting one of those Phantom kits on my current single speed.
So you've been in the market. Yeah, I mean, you've been following this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
For a while. Man, I'm happy for you. I hope this works out.
Thank you. I'm stoked. This is amazing.
You know, keep in mind that because the dropouts are, see how it turns? Like, yeah, there's a little bit more, it's a little wobbly up there, but for me, the comfort, and I'll give you the original fork. So you're getting a lot of extra parts that you could mess with on your other bike too.
Oh, sure. No, this is, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm so used to a rigid fork.
And the suspension post, this makes a big difference actually. Like when you're riding long distance, it's pretty aggressive right now. You know, I put on that longer stem and like a flat bar. So depending on your style, I might experiment with that myself because of my back and neck, but you seem like a pretty sporty fellow and
I'm actually looking, I saw a gentleman riding along the road with the
aero bars.
Yeah,
and
I was thinking that'd be nice for long distance. So
that would
definitely
be cool.
might look into something like that.
Well, awesome. As far as bike racks go, you might have to take off the little bag or something to hang it. And that was one of my complaints. It's like, well, they run the cables, they aren't internally routed, but it's not unlike most. I mean, it'll be fine, but just kind of a heads up.
I'll definitely be gentle. Definitely.
Well, have fun. It's your bike. Do whatever you want with it.
I'll treat it like I do anything else I really care about.
Yeah, so. Dude, I'm really excited for you. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Ryan's gonna take that adventure ride home. Maybe I'll overlay a couple photos or something from that.
I really appreciate you and everything that you do. All the information that you provide that's been amazing. It's like to be able to find out exactly what you need on everything else before you decide to buy it's rare. In the past you couldn't do that.
Yeah, that's when I got into bikes. I was like, the websites, they don't actually, so that's what we were talking about, the handlebars. A lot of these company websites don't even, you know, they don't list their own specs super detailed, or they kind of fib about the weight sometimes.
Yes. Oh yeah, so you saw that like on the original Saunders, and
and the range, like 50 miles. You're like, okay, if you turn the battery off.
I wish, this seems like you could pedal it just great without the battery power, so it's efficient. That's amazing, and just there's a lot of hills in Denver, so it'll definitely be helpful. There's some good stuff, man. So again, nice to meet you. I'll give you a little pleasure.
High five.
Heck yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for giving the ride. And I forgot your name already. What was it?
It's Alex, dude.
Alex. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll give you a chance to. Do you bike too? Are you into?
You know what? I'm not, but my parents, they do a lot of like road cycling and things like that. So after he showed me pictures of this bike, I was like, man, that looks really nice.
Pretty sick.
Yeah. Eventually, hopefully, and get into it pretty soon. So. It'll be a lot of fun. And we go riding together. It'll be awesome. Yeah.
Be good stuff.
Yeah, it'll be a great time.
Thanks for giving him a ride, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Hope you guys have a safe drive home.
Yeah, you too, man.
Thank you.
Later. Sweet. So thanks for doing the little video.
Yeah, Corey.
I'll go grab some of the other stuff with you.
I really appreciate it. Are you into hugs, man? Because I want to give you a hug.
Yeah.
All right, brother. I was going to tell you that on the text last night, so I'll be like, I hope you're ready for a hug.
I appreciate it.
This is amazing. Seriously.
Yeah. So these guys were getting ready to shove off, and we start talking, and you always get that like relaxed moment, and the stories start to come out. So I talked to Ryan, just seeing if you'd be comfortable sharing this on camera, but you know, you did have that experience of getting run over, and I thought there were some interesting like takeaways or just an interesting story. Can you show the picture again and just
definitely
tell me what happened here?
This here is an X-ray of my hip and pelvis. When I was in the accident, I went underneath the side of a 3500 Dodge Ram, and its rear tires went over me from hip to head, causing 3 different spots of my right hip to break. This here and this here are 2 different bands with all these screws holding my hip together, where my hip bone what is this, please? Here,
it's like rotate. I don't know my.
When that bone goes into the hip bone, and right here also the pelvis. There's just a giant screw going across here.
Right across here.
I'd be happy to show you these scars.
Sure. Can you tell when it rains?
This is the small scar.
Are there any cool benefits?
Yeah, I could definitely feel everything tightens up when there's high pressure, and the other scar goes from here to here.
I noticed you limping, but when you were on the bike, it seems smooth. Is this an activity that's like less like impact?
Yes, definitely. That's why I can't walk well, but I definitely can ride. I ride about 150 miles a week currently, and I started riding 8 months after my accident because I can't not ride. It's what I do.
You were telling me something. You were in the hospital for a while, and
yes, I had a really rough time after the hospital. just trying to figure out why I made it and so on. I wasn't supposed to survive. I wasn't supposed to walk. So just got this as a little reminder. Just love what you have. Enjoy your life, and everything that it brings forth.
Yeah, dude, you're a good guy. Like, I can feel that, and all of our conversations, like coming up here, we were talking about bikes and how excited your buddy was. Like, he was dancing around the office.
Oh yeah, it was when I got the call in the news, you're like, can I call you? And I was like, yes, please. Yes. And it was just dancing around the office, it was great. Well, it's good things to come.
It warms my heart too. And again, to all the other people who entered and stuff, like, thank you. It'd be nice to be able to give everyone a bike. But it seemed like a really good fit. And yeah, the experience, you said after the incident, everyone stopped, everyone was trying to be helpful. And then right behind you was like a nurse or something.
Yes,
right?
A nurse was driving the car that was behind me when the accident happened. Oh. And she yelled for traffic to stop and held my head and called the hospital, got my information, and really kept me calm during the whole process because it didn't knock me out. It went over my head. I was wearing a helmet. Just a smart move. Always wear a helmet. It's just safe. Yeah. Luckily, it may have helped me. It may not have. I mean, it definitely helped me from my head hitting the ground.
Yeah.
I had a lock in my bag. It did landing on my bag like that did fracture my spine. Hence the maybe not walking thing.
Well, that's the nurse. Like, hey, don't move.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like,
she just held me and said, "Don't move," and I'm here to help.
Props to her and everyone.
She's like, calm down. That was hard.
I bet, man. Wow. Wow.
But got to the hospital within 8-10 minutes. Denver Health, best trauma center in the Southwest.
Shout out, yeah. So, everything just lined up really well for you. And I was surprised. I thought, so your buddy, you're like in your 20s, and I was like, yeah, you're a young guy, and you're like, no,
I'm 39.
You're older than me. You look healthy and happy, like riding your bike.
Riding your bike all the time.
That's a good medicine too, right?
Definitely.
Like helmets and a little bit of exercise every day.
That's right.
Sweet, man. I hope this works out well for
sorry.
you. Hopefully there are no other incidents,
nope.
But
always looking out.
We're all out there on an adventure.
Keep your distance from other cars. That way you see what's ahead of you. Because a pothole is what took me out, and I just wasn't able to avoid it. I was going too fast.
I'm not hating on fixies or anything here, but it sounds like you went to the single speed so you could pedal backwards, and now you have just regular hand brakes.
Regular front and rear brake. Just a lot easier to control your speed. A lot easier to keep from something like this happening again.
Yeah, and especially with the hip thing. I like the power slide, bikes. There's one for every person.
You feel the thing with the fixed gear is your connection. Your connection with the bike is like you're a singular object. You're connected to the road, and I'm never gonna hate on them. It's what I love to do. It's what I love to ride. I would choose that over anything else. But electric is amazing.
Rock on. Well, I've reviewed just a ton of other electric bikes, and I'll have like some fun guides and other little whatever videos like this out there. So have fun out there, you guys. Ride safe, of course. Love you very much. Just enjoy the time.
Thanks, Court.
Later. Sweet. Now we got it all.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, good
Appreciate
video coming through. So.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be good.
Heck yeah. You get used to the limp, and people are like, "Oh, that's your swagger."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Business accounts for that.